Good morning, Destarians. It is indeed a good morning. My name is Evans Kiarie, a student of law at Daystar University.
And so far your journey in academics, tell us a little bit about it before sasa tukanyage sasa with the interview.
My academics life has been interesting. Started at first, I won't lie, I didn't have the passion to do law, but some things you learn to love them till a point it reaches a point of perfection. So as of now, I can say that I have, let's say, perfected my craft. I love the law. I practice the law in everything that I do. It is part of my day-to-day life. And academically, things are good. Let me just say things are good.
And we hope things are going to run out well. And since you said you're a legal advisor, right? You're in the process of training to be a legal advisor. So, do you have like a specialization?
No, not yet. I've not yet specialized. I consider myself a jack of all trades. So you're pulling risks. What do you say in Swahili? Kumwaga mtama kila mahali. So
Okay.
You're getting a bit of everything. Then later on, after you've gotten some experience, is when you decide, okay, let me specialize in this, let me specialize in this.
When do people normally specialize?
After you've found a niche and you've discovered what you love. Right now, most students say, when I grow up, not when I grow up, when I become an advocate, I'll specialize in corporate law, I'll do insurance law, I'll do banking law, tax law. But as time goes by, is when you realize, so I can do these other things. I can multitask or juggle them. Most advocates, in their starting years, you find them, someone is in litigation, conveyancing, insurance, contracts. Then as they get more experience or as they advance in their career, they develop a passion for a certain niche or a certain type of law. So that's when you decide, okay, let me do running down, let me do litigation, let me stick to conveyancing. It's a matter of interest.
Okay.
Right. And I'm trying to frame the question in my head. Out there protesting and how the government sees them. Do you think when LSK comes in and tries to protect these people's rights, it's acceptable or it's not acceptable?
It is acceptable. Actually, when I was coming, I was listening to this CS's comment. I think it was a comment he made probably a day or 2 days ago. It was somewhere in Eldoret. He said that these terrorists, like quote unquote terrorists, should not get any assistance from anyone, which is quite absurd, because he himself is a legal practitioner. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay, but it is there on paper. It is like he practiced it.
Okay, so from that and looking at the Constitution, there is the right of arrested person. Any arrested person has the right to an advocate. So denying these people chance to be represented or having people to defend them is contrary to the Constitution, therefore infringing their rights. So LSK's stand is correct. These people must be represented with, no matter the offense.
Now, does that turudi tu nyuma kidogo whereby you said some of these charges stemmed, and also the ODPP quoted from the CJ. It brings some thinking. Is the judiciary also quote unquote captured the way it has been claimed about the legislature?
From my perspective, yes.
Yes, from your perspective.
The answer is in the affirmative, yes. The judiciary has been captured. You say, from what's happening, the judiciary is being used to weaponize the law. The law is not being used as a system to govern people. It's being used as a weapon against people expressing their feelings or rising against oppression. So yes, the judiciary has been captured.
What's the hopes for now Kenyans?
Other alternative leaders. We must do away with the legacy politicians. The whole system must go.
Okay. There's so much.
There's so much happening, and see how the court is bringing up his issue every time inashinda ikikatizwa, but they don't want to see the reality of things. How do you find it? Like, uko kwenye nashinda what took place and what to say exactly.
Okay. Court processes are usually altered in a certain way, especially when they involve the state. And as a lawyer, I should ask, what is your feeling about how these court processes involving statesmen are usually being handled and altered along the way? What normally happens, and what is your perspective about it?
How are they altered?
Yeah,
like
we can ask about that, how, yes, and also like what are you as lawyers doing, and what is your feeling about these processes just end up being thrown away or being stalled or being altered in their own way.
Plus also, you see, when other, like the citizens, when they go to court, their cases are always taken differently from the state, the governance, like the people of the government. Their cases are also taken differently. Why is it so?
I think there's no much difference in the court process when you compare the two. It's just that a normal person like me and you, we won't attract that much public interest. But at the same time, the courts should expedite justice. The same way they are handling cases for statesmen, in the same way they should handle for ordinary citizens.
But when we see maybe a case, especially the ones that attract public attention, we can stem all the way back to even the Baby Pendo case. We can look at many policemen who are in court right now due to killings, and I believe we should term them as extrajudicial.
Yeah.
There are cases where even MPs, even Babu Owino was once taken in, and then the case here, there. However, we saw like it was out of court agreement to help with the bills and everything. When it comes to these top guys, if the case is against them, this case will be on and on and on. We may even keep on watching it until the day we stop watching it.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it that it's so hard to reach justice when it is them? Even if the court process is the same, why is there normally, it reaches a point, there are stories. As lawyers, what are you guys doing?
Corruption. It's corruption.
And as lawyers, what are you guys doing?
I think it reaches a point it reaches a point your hands are tied, in as much as we are doing everything to ensure that justice is served. You know, justice delayed is justice denied. So in as much as we advocate for justice being served, there are some rogue state officials, or rather rogue officials in the judiciary.
Okay.
Ahmed Nasir, senior counsel Ahmed Nasir, keeps talking about juris pesa. It is something that happens, and not unless we change the whole system, it will still continue.
Okay, so it is a minute to the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break, then later on we'll be back to talk about that what we've called system, and maybe bring it then back to you. What are your plans maybe for the future? And yeah, before we call a close to the interview. But for now, our guest is still with us in the studio. If you're listening to us at 99.9, just stay tuned. Keep it there. And if you're maybe far away, in Africa point, even the lawyers, they're just hand-tied in as much as we try our best. So maybe to kick off the second part of this discussion with this question, Evans,
Yes.
when things happen, we normally see LSK bring out statements. The LSK president, for example, during the kidnappings by DCI, she used to be vocal and come up with statements calling out the government. When there is activities that go beyond the limits, especially to human rights, there will be statements. These statements usually don't seem to have so much impact in terms of bringing solutions or actions. Rather, they just end up as statements of saying, you guys are doing the wrong thing, and that's it. Ahmad, is there usually an impact with those statements?
I believe there is an impact. You see, bodies like the LSK, international organizations, their role in this whole situation is oversight and condemning certain acts is necessary. Failure to that, the government will be moving the way they want. You see, there was a time, was it last month, embassies of European countries jointly made a statement about police concealing their identities and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after that, the government became quote unquote cautious. It has not been done away with, but let me say they changed their ways. So the impact isn't that visible, and it's not to immediate effect, but it has repercussions, or rather good things from them. So the statements are necessary, and they put the government online. The government knows, yes, there are people watching us.
All right. So I have a question about the judiciary. Ainda. So what's your take on the independence of the judiciary in Kenya, and are ruling politically influenced, or they decide to do it according to the law?
That's in French there's a statement, I don't know if I'll pronounce it well. Comme ci, comme ça. We say it as comme ci, comme ça. It's 50-50. You're not sure which side you lie on. The judiciary is independent only to some extent. What Eddie was talking about or asking about, why is it that when it's a layman or an ordinary citizen, things are done differently from when it's a statesman. So when it's a citizen, the judiciary is independent, but when other figures come into play, they seem blind. So let me say the judiciary is not that independent.
So now, with the aspect of 50-50, what should happen, or what is the 50% of what should happen when someone defies court orders? A court order is there that you should not conceal your face, it's broken. You should not use live ammunition, it's broken. You need to appear to court, we give you the first chance, the second chance, third, fourth, fifth, and then say this is the final one, that is when you're coming. What are some of the things that should happen to any person, whether an official or not, who defies court orders?
Even the absconding court should not reach the fifth time. Normally in sane courts, let me call them sane courts, where magistrates and judges know what they are doing, you can't abscond courts more than 2 times. Warrants of arrest are issued. So that's the same thing.
So in Kenya it's like we don't have sane courts.
There are same courts.
But most of the sessions are always, we have too many sessions.
There are same courts. Let me say there are same courts.
Away from politics a bit, the performance of investigative officers, I think it also stems back to politics, but generally, investigations in Kenya normally take a lot of time. Lawyers, what do you guys do about it?
I think most lawyers, not most lawyers, some lawyers I know get in touch with the investigation officer. You get in touch with them yourself rather than letting the prosecutor do the work, because most investigation officers don't take these things seriously. You find a case has been mentioned or is scheduled for hearing, the investigation officer is supposed to be a witness. They're not in court. The prosecutor has a case. When the case is mentioned, he or she tells the magistrate, I don't have the police file. I can't find the investigation officer. So as lawyers or advocates, most advocates get in touch with the investigation officer so that you tell them, leo ni siku ya koti, lazima ukuje na kutaka ukue koti. Ama if there are any necessary documents that need to be availed, they can avail them. So then the factor of other figures coming into play to mess with the whole process, you find some key figures chip in some good money.
Okay.
Unasikia, file ilipotea, sijui file ilienda wapi. But the investigation officer is nowhere to be seen.
Wow.
Okay, and you have talked something about the judiciary in a 50-50 state, right? So, sijui if it's true, ama nimeenda nimesahau history kidogo. Is the judiciary a standing body on its own?
Yes.
So why is it that there is 50-50 yet it should be the ones, they should be the people who should give direct ruling on whatever that happens? Do you think it's even right having that 50-50?
No, it's not. Actually, it's not 50-50. It's just a segment. Inaweza kuwa 80-20, 90-10. So
But it's not 100.
It's not 100.
Okay.
I think the problem with Kenya, or us Kenyans, we have the mentality of ule ni rafiki yangu, ule ni mtu wetu. So when you get into government, or when you get a senior position and there is another position, the first thing you can think of is, Eddie is my friend. Let me put Eddie there.
Yeah.
Last night on, what's this show called, on Citizen TV, Advocate Willis was talking about the same thing. We've come from a culture of a person in government must put their friend or someone they know, so that things may go well for them. Let the Judiciary, Independent Electoral Commission, like in the Moi era, they shared commissioners. Nasema acha mimi niweke huyu hapa, kura zangu zisiibie. Acha niweke huyu hapa, kura zangu zisiibie. So that's the same thing that's happening in the judiciary. So there's some people placed there to serve the interest of some other people.
Hi, we'll bring now the conversation maybe to the mwananchi. And in Kenya, although I heard through very many lawyers and advocates, there is usually a way in which someone should be arrested. And they normally give us the way in which someone should be arrested.
Mm-hmm.
What I've normally never understood is, if I'm not arrested, the way I should be arrested. Is that something that can be used for me in courts, in my defense or to my advantage, and say, I didn't understand maybe the reasons why I'm being arrested. I wasn't arrested and they didn't explain to me in a language I understand. It was forceful, because we normally see so much forceful arrests in Kenya. Can it be used to my defense?
Yes, it can. First of all, the person arresting you must identify themselves. They must notify you of why you're being arrested. And if you're in the case you're arrested and taken to a cell, you must be produced before court the following day, save from the days where the courts are not sitting, let's say a public holiday or a weekend. That's the only exception where you can spend a night in a cell without, or you can spend more than one night in a cell without being produced to court or taken to court. Many cases, charges have been nullified by appellate courts simply because the accused person was. Oh yes, your question is the answer is in the affirmative. You can use that as your defense.
Alright, still the mwananchi, with the police brutality that has always been happening, are there legal remedies that are taken for victims of police brutality?
Yes, there are. The first remedy is what do you call it? The prosecution itself of the rogue police. Then after that, there is compensation from the state. You can file a civil claim seeking compensation from the state, or in the same criminal case, you can seek compensation or restitution.
But do you think they're easily accessible to the people?
No, they aren't. I call them Jabba stories, because it rarely happens, and if it happens, it's so long after, so long you're compensated 30-40 years after the death of the victim or the person. Actually, you can you can, that is evident from what you're seeing in the news. But shortly after Albert Ojwang's death, I think the families of the victims of last year's protest held what do you call these things? Held a meeting, let's say a meeting, where they to mourn their loved ones, to fellowship together, and one of the family's spokesperson was saying, tunataka justice, tunataka kukompensetiwa. So from last year even now, and I believe last year after all the atrocities, there was a promise to find justice for these people and compensate them. Lakini 1 year later, nothing has been done.
And wakili, why is it that law, bringing the discussion now to schools, School of Law, normally you guys handle yourself in a very, very different manner. I could say classy one, or I don't know, but it just came to my realization. The dress code, first of all, is clear cut to all universities that offer law. And other things, maybe the school, the university, the campus is required to have this, is required to have that. Is it in line with what you guys are studying for and you're going to meet out there, or it's just because it's law and yeah, we must wear suits, we must, why?
It's both. First, perception is key. The first impression you have of someone is what's gonna stick in your mind as long as that person lives. So there's no way I can come to you and tell you, Eddie, I'm an advocate. Do you have any legal issue? And I'm wearing some funny suit or some funny outfit. Tashanga, utaila ongoza harusi ananiuliza nini?
Yeah, okay.
So, and at the same time, it's a culture. It started from the colonial eras, and even before that, lawyers were dressing differently from other members of the public. Let's say wigs, robes. So as time went by, it developed into suits. Yes, so it's culture, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon, so get used to it.
Okay.
Okay, I actually wanted to ask you mambo ya suits. Because ilikuwa like, kwani jipeke ndio mnataka tu kuvaa suits mnaonekana all around.
You can wear a suit if you want.
Yeah, you can. But unajua kuna okay, like sasa kadisa, you're being given a certain color of suits to wear. Sindio? Though I also know when Cecil amesema ati the universities you have to wear suits. I know for university where my friend anafanya law na ananiambia she's actually the one who anaddress most kushinda kila mtu. They just wanaingia class na sweatpants na macrocs.
Even most law schools. I
guess Strathmore and Daystar are embracing it.
It depends with the school.
Yeah.
You know, kama Daystar or Strathmore, there is a certain caliber there. The society has placed us, so we can't do the same things as other universities.
And why is the school so expensive, by the way? What is there that you guys know? When we talk about the conversation of maybe School of Nursing, we talk about equipment, we can talk about the facilitations and everything. You guys, what makes it so expensive?
I don't think the equipment you guys have.
Quality.
What about quality?
Quality of teaching and quality of
sababu mnafunza na lecturers wenye ni wakubwa. Ai.
That's the reason.
Ai.
On a light.
Or is there? Yeah, it's on a light note.
Kibwana bada na wafunza.
No,
it's on a light note.
He's teaching, I think, year 2 and year 1. Yes.
Yeah, that point was on a light one, yes, but I was like, it was just that hiyo ndio nilikuwa nauliza, cause then kila mahali kungekuwa hivyo. You see, it brings a sort of imagination. There is something unique that is there or comes out of there.
You see, we expect as School of Nursing ikikuwa high ni equipments, School of Communication ikikuwa high ni equipments, School of Science ikikuwa high ni equipments, but School of
don't have equipment, so you must invest in the lecturers. Our work is not as practical as much. The only practical thing you're doing is speaking, and your oratory skills, you have to perfect them yourself. No one else is going to perfect them. But for you to perfect your oratory skills, you must be good in theory. Unaweza kuwa unaongea vizuri lakini hakuna kitu unajua ama unasema. So that stems from good lecturers or quality education. So let me give you a glimpse of, you've mentioned Prof Kivuda Kibwana. I was taught law of business administration by a former judge of the High Court, Justice Mutava. My research lecturer was Professor Dr. Muniwekesa. He's now the dean in School of Education, I understand. Yeah, so. And you've talked about some of the things that makes a good lawyer, and I've remembered KUCCPS placed students, and according to their data, below School of Nursing, I don't think you guys, either you are after them, I've forgotten slightly, but you are among the top in most picked courses and also most placed. And the demand that is there for School of Law, even when you look at the cluster, it reflects. What would you advise now those who have been chosen to come and do law? What would you advise them if at all they come to watch you and they see, now this is Evans, he has studied all these years School of Law, he has this experience and he knows this, he knows that, maybe he has done this and learned some consequences from it. What would you advise them? Just read from day one. Read. Practice your oratory skills. Work on your presentation yourself. Dressing code perception is important, as I said. What else? And public speaking. Yes, and public speaking. That's nice. All. There is no other thing. Once you perfect those, you're good to go. And
you've also been advised about what's ahead, and maybe people have told you this is what to expect, this is what you should do. So it will bring my question of, maybe we'll also use it as the parting shot. Evans, what is your plan for the future? Where do you want to see yourself in the future?
In the future? I want to do so many things. After I graduate, I'll go to KSL. After KSL, I don't think I'll go into practice immediately. Probably I continue with masters if I get money by then. After masters, I'm thinking of pursuing a second degree. My first love was architecture, so I think I'll pursue architecture after that. Wow. Then PhD, then practicing, yes. After the practice for some years, then specialize on a specific niche.
Nice. Evans, it was nice having the conversation with you.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, we also tell you thank you for honoring our invite. And this is Shine FM 99.9. Our second guest has also arrived, and we're going to have more of the discussions with her.